20 trees that provide food for 100 years. Have you ever stopped to think about planting a tree that can feed your family for decades? Many people don't know, but there are trees that produce fruits, nuts, or other foods for more than 100 years. This means that if you plant one of them today, your grandchildren and even great-grandchildren will still be able to reap the fruits of it. It's like having a food savings account in nature. You invest a little care at the beginning and reap the benefits for a long time. In this text, we are going to talk about 20 trees that do exactly that. They are strong plants that don't need much maintenance and provide healthy, tasty food. Some of them you already know, like the mango tree or the coconut tree, but others may come as a surprise. We'll explain how they work, how long they take to start producing, and how to care for them so they last for generations. We will also give practical examples, as if you were planting in your backyard or on a farm. Why plant trees that last 100 years? Imagine that you plant a jaboticaba tree today. In about 5 or 10 years, it will start to bear fruit. After that, it can continue producing for more than a century, without stopping. This is very different from a vegetable garden, for example, where you need to replant vegetables every few months. Trees are like a permanent source of food. Once they grow, they stay there, year after year, bearing fruit. Another advantage is that many of these trees also help the environment. They provide shade, attract birds and insects that help with pollination, and also improve the soil. Some even have leaves that fall and become natural fertilizer. In other words, in addition to food, they make the place more beautiful and healthier. And don't think that only those who have a large farm can plant these trees. Many of them adapt well in backyards, sidewalks, or even in large pots, depending on their size. For example, a cherry tree or a pomegranate tree can grow well in a small space. Larger trees, such as jackfruit or cashew, need more space, but are worth it for the amount of food they produce. How to choose the right tree? Before planting, it's good to think about a few things. First, the climate in your region. Some trees like heat, others prefer cooler places. For example, the avocado tree grows well in places with mild winters, while the coconut tree needs a lot of sun and humidity. If you live in the south of Brazil, you may need to choose trees that can withstand the cold, such as pecan trees. Another important thing is space. If you have a small yard, trees such as cherry or plum trees are good options, because they don't grow very large. If you have a farm or a large plot of land, you can plant larger trees, such as mango or Brazil nut trees, which bear a lot of fruit. It's also good to think about the time it takes for the tree to start producing. Some, like the lemon tree, can bear fruit in 2 or 3 years. Others, like walnut, can take 10 years or more. If you want a tree that starts producing quickly, choose one that grows faster. But if you are thinking about the long term, you can invest in one that takes longer, but will last a long time. The 20 trees that produce food for 100 years now. Let's look at the 20 trees that can feed your family for a century or more. Let's talk a little about each one, how to care for them and what kind of food they give. 1. Rose the mango is one of the best-known trees in Brazil. It produces mangoes, a sweet and juicy fruit that everyone likes. An adult mango tree can produce hundreds of mangoes per year and live for more than 100 years. It likes sun and well-drained soil, that is, soil that is not waterlogged. If you plant a mango tree today, your great-grandchildren will still be able to eat mangoes from it. 2. Coconut tree. The coconut palm is another tree that lasts a long time. It gives coconuts, which can be used to make coconut water, coconut milk, oil, and even sweets. A coconut tree can live for more than 80 years and produce coconuts all year round. It needs a lot of sun and sandy soil, which is why it is common in coastal regions. If you live near the beach, the coconut tree is a great choice. 3. Jackfruit. The jackfruit tree is a large tree that bears jackfruit, a huge and very nutritious fruit. A jackfruit tree can live more than 100 years and produce dozens of jackfruits per year. She likes heat and fertile soil. One cool thing about the jackfruit is that, in addition to the fruit, its seeds are also edible and can be cooked or roasted. 4. Avocado tree. The avocado tree produces avocados, a fruit rich in good fats and very versatile. You can eat avocado pure, make guacamole, smoothies, or even desserts. An avocado tree can live for more than 50 years and produce fruit for decades. It likes sun and well-drained soil. One tip is to plant 2 trees close to each other, because some varieties need cross-pollination to bear fruit. 5. Lemon tree. The lemon tree is a small tree that produces lemons, an acidic fruit full of vitamin C. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 50 years. The lemon tree likes sun and nutrient-rich soil. One good thing about the lemon tree is that it produces fruit several times a year, so you will always have fresh lemons. 6. Orange tree. The orange tree is similar to the lemon tree, but it produces oranges, a sweet and juicy fruit. It also starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 50 years. The orange tree likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to water it well, especially in the first few years, so that it grows strong. 7. Peach tree. The peach tree produces peaches, a sweet and soft fruit. It starts producing in 3 or 4 years and can live for more than 30 years. The peach tree likes sun and well-drained soil. One important thing is to prune it every year so that it continues to produce well. 8. Plum tree. The plum tree bears plums, a sweet and juicy fruit. It starts producing in 3 or 4 years and can live for more than 50 years. The plum tree likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to plant 2 trees close to each other, because some varieties need cross-pollination. 9. Fig tree. The fig tree bears figs, a sweet, soft fruit that can be eaten fresh or used in sweets. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 100 years. The fig tree likes sun and well-drained soil. One good thing about the fig tree is that it is resistant and does not need much care. 10. Jabuticabera. The jabuticabera bears jabuticabas, a small, sweet fruit that grows directly on the trunk of the tree. It starts producing in 5 or 6 years and can live for more than 100 years. The jabuticabera likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to water it well in the first few years so that it grows strong. 11. Cashew tree. The cashew tree bears cashews, a fruit that has a delicious nut. It starts producing in 3 or 4 years and can live for more than 50 years. The cashew tree likes sun and sandy soil. One cool thing about the cashew tree is that, in addition to the nut, the pseudofruit, the red or yellow part, can also be used to make juices and sweets. 12. Brazil nut tree. The Brazil nut tree produces Brazil nuts, a very nutritious and tasty food. It starts producing in 10 or 15 years and can live for more than 500 years. Yes, you read that right, 500 years. The chestnut tree is a giant tree that likes tropical forests. It needs a lot of space and fertile soil. 13. Pecan. The pecan tree produces pecans, a nut often used in sweets and savory dishes. It starts producing in 5 or 6 years and can live for more than 100 years. The walnut tree likes sun and well-drained soil. One tip is to plant 2 trees close to each other, because some varieties need cross-pollination. 14. Pomegranate tree. The pomegranate tree bears pomegranates, a fruit full of sweet, juicy seeds. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 100 years. The pomegranate tree likes sun and well-drained soil. One good thing about the pomegranate tree is that it is resistant and does not need much care. 15. Pitangara. The cherry tree produces pitangas, a small, acidic fruit that can be used in juices and sweets. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 50 years. The cherry tree likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to prune it every year so that it continues to produce well. 16. Acerola. The acerola tree produces acerolas, a small fruit very rich in vitamin C. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 20 years. The cherry tree likes sun and fertile soil. One good thing about the acerola tree is that it produces fruit several times a year, so you will always have fresh acerolas. 17. Guava. The guava tree produces guavas, a sweet and juicy fruit. It starts producing in 2 or 3 years and can live for more than 40 years. The guava tree likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to prune it every year so that it continues to produce well. 18. Banana tree. The banana tree produces bananas, a sweet and energetic fruit. It starts producing in 1 or 2 years and can live for more than 20 years, but as it multiplies through shoots, it is as if it were a permanent plant. The banana tree likes sun and nutrient-rich soil. One good thing about the banana tree is that it produces fruit all year round. 19. Olivera. The olive tree produces olives, which can be used to make olive oil or consumed as preserves. It starts producing in 5 or 6 years and can live for more than 500 years. The olive tree likes sun and well-drained soil. It is more common in regions with a Mediterranean climate, but can be cultivated in some parts of Brazil. 20. Apple tree. The apple tree produces apples, a sweet and crunchy fruit. It starts producing in 3 or 4 years and can live for more than 50 years. The apple tree likes sun and fertile soil. One tip is to plant 2 trees close to each other, because some varieties need cross-pollination. How to care for these trees. Now that you know the 20 trees, it's important to know how to care for them so they last 100 years. Basic care is similar for almost all of them: sun, water, and fertile soil. 1. Sun. Most of these trees need full sun, that is, at least 6 hours of sun per day. If you plant them in a shady place, they may not grow well or produce fruit. 2. Water. In the first few years, it is important to water the trees regularly, especially in times of drought. After they grow, many become more resistant and need less water. But remember, each tree has its needs. The coconut tree, for example, needs a lot of water, while the olive tree prefers drier soils. 3. Soil. The soil must be fertile and well drained. This means it must have nutrients for the tree to grow and not become waterlogged. You can improve the soil by adding organic compost or well-weathered manure. 4. Pruning. Some trees, such as peach and guava, need to be pruned every year to produce more fruit. Pruning helps the tree grow stronger and direct its energy toward producing fruit. 5. Protection. In the first few years, young trees are more fragile and can be attacked by pests or diseases. It's good to keep an eye on them and, if necessary, use natural products to protect them. It is also important to protect the seedlings from strong winds and animals that may eat the leaves or buds. How long does it take to start harvesting? The time it takes for each tree to start producing varies. Some, such as banana and lemon trees, can bear fruit in 1 or 2 years. Others, such as Brazil nuts and olive trees, can take 10 years or more. But remember, the waiting time is worth it, because once they start producing, they continue to bear fruit for decades. If you want a tree that starts producing quickly, choose one that takes less time, such as the acerola tree or the pitangera. If you are thinking about the long term and want a tree that will last for generations, you can invest in a chestnut tree or a mango tree. Benefits of having these trees at home: in addition to providing food for many years, these trees provide other benefits. See some. 1. Economy. With a fruit tree in your backyard, you don't need to buy fruit from the market. This can represent significant savings over the years. 2. Health. Fruits picked in the backyard are fresher and free from pesticides, if you choose not to use chemicals. This is great for your family's health. 3. Environment. Trees help improve air quality, attract birds and beneficial insects, and also contribute to biodiversity. 4. Shade and beauty. Many of these trees grow large and provide pleasant shade, perfect for a bench or hammock. Furthermore, they make the yard more beautiful and cozy. 5. Legacy. Planting a tree that lasts 100 years is like leaving a gift for future generations. Your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will be able to enjoy the fruits you planted. Tips for planting and maintaining your trees. If you have decided to plant one of these trees, here are some practical tips. 1. Choose the right seedling. Choose healthy seedlings, with green leaves and no signs of disease. Grafted seedlings, which are made from an already adult plant, tend to produce fruit faster. 2. Prepare the hole. The hole to plant the seedling must be large, at least twice the size of the root ball, the soil that comes with the seedling. Mix the soil in the hole with organic compost to make the soil more fertile. 3. Plant at the right time. The best time to plant fruit trees is at the beginning of the rainy season, when the soil is moist and temperatures are mild. 4. Water well. In the first few months, water the seedling regularly, but without soaking it. Once the tree grows, it will need less water. 5. Fertilize regularly. Use organic fertilizer, such as manure or compost, to keep the soil fertile. You can do this once or twice a year. 6. Protect the seedling. In the first few years, protect the seedling from strong winds and animals that may eat the leaves or buds. You can use a stake to support the seedling and keep it from bending over. 7. Keep an eye out for pests. If you notice leaves with holes or spots or damaged fruit, it could be a sign of pests or disease. In this case, try to identify the problem and treat it with natural solutions, such as smoke syrup, neem oil, or coconut soap diluted in water. Avoid using strong poisons, as they can harm the tree and even contaminate the fruit. 8. Prune correctly. Pruning the tree helps remove dry or diseased branches, improves air circulation, and stimulates the growth of new branches. The ideal is to prune in late winter or early spring, before the flowers appear. Use clean, sharp tools to avoid hurting the plant. 9. Harvest at the right time. Each tree has its own fruiting season. For example, The Jabuticabera tree usually bears fruit between August and September, while the mango tree produces fruit in summer. Harvest the fruits when they are ripe, but before they fall to the ground or are eaten by birds. This ensures you get the most out of your production. 10. Take care of the surrounding soil. Keep the area around the tree free of weeds, which can compete for water and nutrients. You can cover the soil with dry leaves, straw, or sawdust to prevent herbs from growing and also to maintain moisture. Some trees that produce food for decades and are easy to care for. Jabuticabera. It bears juicy fruits directly on the trunk and can live for more than 100 years. It likes sun and moist soil, but not soggy. Mango tree. Produces delicious mangoes and can last more than 50 years. It needs plenty of sun and space to grow. Lemon tree. It produces lemons all year round and is resistant. It likes sun and well-drained soil. Plum tree. Produces sweet fruits and can live for decades. It prefers cooler climates, but some varieties adapt well to heat. Peach tree. It produces juicy peaches and grows quickly. It needs regular pruning to produce well. Cashew tree. In addition to cashew, it produces chestnuts, which are also edible. Like sun and sandy soil. Avocado tree. Produces avocados rich in good fats and can live for more than 50 years. It needs space and deep soil. Pomegranate tree. It bears fruits full of sweet seeds and is very resistant. Grows well in hot, dry climates. Fig tree. Produces tasty figs and is easy to care for. It likes sun and well-drained soil. Banana tree. Although it is not a real tree, it is an herbaceous plant. It produces bananas for many years. It needs plenty of water and sun. These trees not only feed your family for generations, but they also make your yard more beautiful and attract birds and other animals. Start with 1 or 2, learn how to care for them, and little by little you can build an orchard full of fresh, healthy fruit. The secret is to be patient and observe the needs of each plant. Over time, you will reap the fruits of your labor for many, many years to come. Now that you know some trees that bear fruit for decades, let's talk about others that are also worth planting in your yard or land. All of them are easy to find, resistant, and will guarantee fresh food for a long time. Jabuticabera. This Brazilian tree is famous for the fruits that grow directly on the trunk. Jabuticabas are sweet, juicy, and great for making jellies or juices. It likes sun and moist, but not soggy, soil. The cool thing is that, once it becomes an adult, it can produce fruit twice a year. Plum tree. Gives sweet, juicy plums, which can be eaten fresh or used in recipes. There are varieties that adapt to different climates, from the coldest to the hottest. It needs sun and well-drained soil, and usually bears fruit in the 3rd or 4th year. Cashew tree. In addition to cashews, which are delicious and full of vitamin C, this tree also produces cashew nuts. It is resistant to drought and grows well in sandy soils, typical of the Brazilian northeast. The cashew tree can live for more than 50 years and bear fruit almost year-round in some regions. Peach tree. Peaches are soft, sweet, and fragrant fruits. This tree likes milder climates, but there are varieties that adapt to hot places. It needs regular pruning to produce well and usually bears fruit in the 2nd or 3rd year. Lemon tree. Who doesn't like fresh lemon juice? The lemon tree is a small tree that is easy to care for and produces fruit all year round in warm climates. In addition to lemons, other citrus trees, such as orange and tangerine, are also great options and live for many years. Acerola tree. This tree is a champion in vitamin C. The acerola is small, red, and very acidic, perfect for juices and smoothies. It grows quickly, likes sun and fertile soil, and can produce fruit several times a year. Mango tree. Mango is one of the most popular fruits in Brazil, and the mango tree is a strong and resistant tree. It needs space to grow, as it can get quite large, and it likes sun and deep soil. Once mature, it can produce fruit for over 100 years. Avocado. Avocado is a versatile fruit, used in sweet and savory recipes. The avocado tree grows well in hot and humid climates, but it needs well-drained soil to avoid root rot. It may take a few years to bear fruit, but it's worth the wait. Pecan. If you like nuts, this tree is a great choice. It produces pecans, which are tasty nuts rich in good fats. The pecan tree grows slowly, but can live more than 100 years and bear fruit for decades. Olive tree. Although it is more common in colder regions, the olive tree also adapts to hot climates. It produces olives, which can be eaten fresh or used to make olive oil. It is a hardy, low-maintenance tree, but it can take a few years to start producing. Each of these trees has its own particularities, but they all have something in common. They will feed you and your family for a long time, with little effort. Start by choosing the ones that best match the climate of your region and the space you have. Plant with care, water when necessary, and watch how they grow. Over time, you will have an orchard full of fresh fruit, pleasant shade, and even a special corner to relax. And the best part, all this without having to spend money at the market.